Hello and welcome to our special Euro 2020 coverage here on France 24. England are through to their first Euro semi-final in 25 years after thrashing Ukraine 4-0 in Rome. They'll be facing Denmark, whose fairy tale continues after overcoming adversity and capturing some hearts on the way. They beat the Czech Republic 2-1 in Baku. To talk about all of Saturday's action, I'm joined here on set with sports journalist Ruben Slatter. Let's get cracking straight into Saturday's late game. England have cruised through to the semi-final after thrashing Ukraine 4-0 in their first and only game away in Rome. Harry Kane opened the scoring just 4 minutes in with a header. Harry Maguire doubled the Three Lions lead just after the break there, with another header before Kane slotted in number 3 and his third goal of the tournament. Substitute Jordan Henderson wrapped up the game with a third header following a corner from Mason Mount, which puts England in their first European Championship since Euro 96, which was held back then in the UK. Gareth Southgate, the manager, was in the squad. I won't talk about what happened next. Ruben, a resounding victory for the Three Lions. They're back at Wembley for the semi-finals, and if they get there, obviously, the final is also in London. We've got a lot of Euro 96 vibes going on. Things are really in England's favour.
Well, let's hope for the English that it won't end like Euro 96, of course. But it's clear that England, also tonight, they did exactly what they had to do, scoring in every half, early in every half, just to end all the hopes of the Ukrainians. England were the clear favourites today. They did it. They did exactly what they had to do. Now they face Denmark, which is a huge opportunity. It's not like against the Germans in '96. So let's hope for England that it will have another ending, of course. Yeah, that's for sure.
We definitely don't want it to end like it did in '96. I was very little back then, but we hear a lot about those penalties. Gareth Southgate he's made a lot of changes during this tournament, and it really shows that England has a really deep squad. Is that one of their biggest strengths?
Yeah, I think so. It's impressive to see that also today there was Jadon Sancho in the lineup, which was a complete surprise for everyone. We also saw that Mason Mount came back, who was isolated because of the COVID issues. But it seems like the English team, every time they just line up another player, it doesn't make any difference. So that's really impressive. Against the Germans, it was a completely different system. So it's clear that for the English right now, their strength is maybe even their quantity over their quality, and they already have a lot of quality. So yeah. A lot of tools in the box right now, yeah.
Indeed. And we'll just quickly mention Ukraine. They were obviously outclassed this evening, but we have to give credit to them for reaching this far. It was their first ever quarterfinals in Europe.
Yes, true. They played some good football. I think that you could see tonight that their tournament ended a little bit with the win against Sweden. I never had the impression that they were really convinced that they could win, and especially after the first Harry Kane goal after 4 minutes. You saw that the Ukrainians, the first half, they still tried, but when Harry Maguire scored that second goal, it was over. It's also there that you can see that that's a team without any depth, because when there was a player injured, there's a less strong player coming in the side. Whereas for England, it's not the same. So yeah, it wasn't a real matchup today, I have to say. But credits to Ukraine, because they weren't one of the favourites before the tournament. Getting into the quarterfinals is a good performance.
Indeed, a big result for them, it has to be said. That moves us on nicely to the other quarterfinal, which took place on Saturday. England will be playing Denmark, who have gone really from strength to strength since going through that shock after they saw their star player Christian Eriksen suffer a cardiac arrest in their opening group game. They beat the Czech Republic on a hot evening in Baku on Saturday. Goals from Thomas Delaney and Kasper Dolberg put Denmark in command ahead of the break. Patrick Schick managed to pull one back for the Czech Republic early on in the second half, putting his goal tally at 5 now, and he joins Cristiano Ronaldo at the top of the tournament's goal-scoring chart. But Denmark did manage to hold on. Ruben, this has really been an emotional journey for Denmark. They've really been galvanised, it seems, by the incident with Eriksen.
Yeah, well, it's crazy. We were just talking that it's now 3 weeks ago that we were sitting here and talking about Christian Eriksen, and now Denmark is in the semi-final. So that's already quite spectacular. At the same time, we shouldn't forget that Denmark, every match they played since then, they were almost every time the favorites, except for the Belgium match. But all the other ones, it's not such a surprise that Denmark has beaten the Czech Republic. What is impressive though is the way they are playing. It's all well organized. It's clever. It's sometimes spectacular with some really good wingbacks, especially. So yeah, they deserve to be there in the semi-finals. In every match they played since the group stage, I think they were the better team. Again, we were talking already about depth of the squad. I think that's the main issue for them as well. I think that when they will play England, you saw already today in Baku that the last 30 minutes, Denmark were having some issues. The Czech Republic came back quite strongly. So I'm really excited to see if they can do it one more time. We have, of course, all the '92 vibes of Denmark when they won those Euros as well. So maybe they can cause another upset. You never know.
Which was also under quite unexpected circumstances. They were actually brought in at the last minute when Yugoslavia were taken out of the tournament. So it wouldn't be the first time they're used to going against the odds, we'll say. A quick mention also for the Czechs. They found their momentum a bit in the second half. They tested Schmeichel a bit, but it wasn't enough for them this evening.
Yeah, I think that they realized too late that this Denmark team, they could beat this Denmark team. In the second half, you saw another Czech team. They were a lot more opportunistic. They tried to make the game. They were more offensive. And then you saw that Denmark has also quite some weak points in their team. And I think that the Czechs, they realized too late what kind of opportunity they've had to get into the semi-finals. But okay, yeah, they were one of the big surprises in the tournament, I would say. Yeah, as a Dutchman, I would have said that winning against the Dutch, that was a surprise. But they deserved it, and they came out of a difficult group with England, with Croatia, so all credits to them getting into the quarters.
Indeed, and that brings us to those two semi-finals we have to look forward to next week, which are both being played at Wembley. Let's start with the first between Italy and Spain. Italy have arguably been the most impressive team of the tournament so far. They saw off at the world's top-ranked side, Belgium, Ruben. Though, could Spain possibly put a spanner in the works?
They can. I mean, the difference between the two teams is not that much. It's only that Italy has been more impressive than Spain so far. But we have also seen Spain, especially in the Croatia match, but also against Slovakia, that especially their offensive possibilities are still there. I think that for the tournament, and if you look at the whole tournament, Italy are the favorites, and it would be nice to have Italy in the final, but you never know. It's just one game. Italy is also without their star player of the tournament, Spinazzola, so it can go all the way. It can go either way, in my opinion.
Indeed, we'll have to wait and see. And then obviously we've got the other big semi-final on Wednesday, England against Denmark. As we said earlier on, the stars do seem to be aligned for England to maybe reach their first major final since 1966. Is football coming home?
It's the opportunity of a lifetime for England. I mean, like I said, I have the impression that the Danish are also a little bit at the end of their possibilities. But okay, maybe they can step up their game one final time. You never know. But if England wants to go once into a final of a major tournament, this is their chance. They will play in front of their own fans. It's also that England had that advantage of playing almost all their matches at Wembley, whereas Denmark is already now coming back from Baku, for example. So yeah, the English have it's all in their hands. If they want to make it once into a final, this is the chance. And then it's only one game against Italy or Spain. And also the difference between all those teams is not that big. So yeah, it could be coming home. You never know.
Putting you on the spot here, Ruben, quickly, who do you think will be playing at that final in Wembley on Sunday?
I really hope, just for the tournament, that it will be England against Italy. Just because Italy did everything right during this tournament. They are the most exciting team to watch for me. And England playing at home, that would be a fantastic final, I think. And I think everybody would be looking forward to it. Although the Danish, if they would go into the final, we could continue talking about the fairy tale. So there's no real bad final, to be honest.
Indeed. Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens next week. We'll be back on Tuesday with the first semi-final between Italy and Spain. Thank you for watching this evening. Good night. Goodbye for now.
Residents from France's disadvantaged suburbs tell their own stories and take the viewers beyond the usual clichés about the French banlieue.
Moi, j'avais envie de dire, mais allez-y, pétez-les les cases. Moi, je viens de là, donc je m'arrête là. Moi, j'ai fait ci, donc je suis condamné à ça. Non!
Moi, ce que je vois, c'est des jeunes hommes et des jeunes femmes qui sont fiers de leur origine, fiers de leurs parents, et ils sont fiers d'être français.
Watch their daily reality in the Banlieue Project on France 24 and France24.com.